So the market is crashing, the crisis proceeds, the world's holding breath, and where does the premier spend night? Two at the disco and one at the Bagaglino with Apicella. This is the anti-crisis prescription, laughing and enjoying life. Cheers! Someone would say, there's a crisis and I don't know what to wear. Well, many politicians abroad, many bankers are looking really picky, bad-looking, sad, dull. Well, he's not. He doesn't have any of these problems. He knows exactly what to wear. Playboy suit, black t-shirt, black jacket, black hat, and let's go dancing on the box and making a good laugh. Making his entrance at the cabaret at the Bagaglino, he stated, "If I am here, it means everything's alright." And 2 nights before, entering in a Milan disco, said, "I sleep 3 hours and I still have enough energies to make love for the same length." A proper marathon runner. He went away 3 hours later at 6:15 and stated, "In 1 hour I'm gonna start to work, but I'm feeling fresh. I was at the Paris White Night and a friend of mine invited me to this party and I just couldn't resist." And all around him a vast group of girls to which he had just explained in the private room problems of Italy. The dump, Alitalia justice, the fiscal federalism, the jealousy that sometimes Veronica reveals, and all of the girls he had. His personal doctor, Scapagnini, already said it. He's the one who led to the failure of the city of Catania, and now he's at the parliament, stated, "Don't worry, Berlusconi will bury us all. His real age is 55 years old. He's technically almost immortal. He's bionic," Scapagnini stated. "He has an out-of-common brain physics and sexual activity." In fact, Berlusconi announced that he's planning with Don Verzé about changing Italia's mean age to 120 years old, so there are about 50 years left for him to live, and maybe this is why crisis doesn't seem to worry him too much. September the 11th, 1 month ago, he was cheerfully stating, "We have a high level of well-being, many property houses, many cars, many mobile phones, we have the 72% of artworks in Europe, and we are the world's football champs, and we have also the smile and the joy of living." But looks can be deceiving, he's worried too. He tells us not to worry, because that's his communication strategy. But depression leads to other recession, so enjoy your life, this is the lesson. But in reality, the bank crisis is worrying him too, because he's a bank owner himself. Mediolano, and in another one, Mediobanca, his friend Geronzi employed his daughter as vice president, Marina Berlusconi. So when he promises you won't lose a euro of yours, we can never understand if he's talking to the citizens or if he's talking to his customers. But basically, what's the difference? It's the smiling strategy. There's also the crisis in Ossetia between Georgia and Russia. And not knowing which side to be between his friend Vladimir and his friend George, he borrows in Sardinia and he even sends the Minister of Foreign Affairs Frattini to the Maldives with his new fiancée. There's the All-Italia crisis and the UN summit. He flies with state helicopters to the beauty farm of Messega in Orvieto, closed for renovation, but he made it open for the occasion. And then he moved to his new villa, one of his collection, on the Maggiore Lake, and there he celebrated his birthday. He says he bought it moved by patriotic feelings, for it was a villa that has been owned by a Renaissance hero, and it could have fell into foreign hands, so he sacrificed himself for us, to defend the Italianism of the villas. The Independent found this disgusting and wrote, "Mr. Berlusconi celebrates his 72nd birthday in his new residence on the Maggiore Lake. No English statesman attentive to the polls would ever dream of showing so ostentatious his wealth. These days, our politicians can even afford to go on holiday in some sunny place. But we know how English are. They are sad, they are gloomy, they are rainy, they are also a little jinx. Just like the proverb says, no sex, we're English." Well, instead Berlusconi, as we can see. But he does it for us. He does it to keep the Italian flag high, or at least the flagpole. His recipe is based on the anti-adultism, on the optimism, the enthusiasm. It's a little bit like the reissue of the Decameron, where in the Plague of Florence, the youth used to reunite in the farms in a cottage, and they used to tell tales and stories, mostly erotic. Well, he prefers the clubs of Milan that are surely better than the court of Milan. In fact, he passed the Alfano law, because he has to govern, he doesn't have any time to waste with the cases. Even if in reality he never went to the hearings, in August he even showed to the journalists the agenda of his typical day. And he said, "Take a look at how much work my co-workers assign me." And among all the commitments it was standing out one male gender appointment, 4 p.m. privity. Well, the English have the tea time, he has the privity time, that invariably takes place at 4 p.m. The other appointments were all female gender, a couple of hours with a certain Manna, better known as Evelina, that girl with the great artistic skills which he was trying to place on right fiction to Sacca. And another appointment, it was written Crysis, intended as Antonella, the one which he said about, "We gotta make her work, otherwise she will talk, she's becoming dangerous." This was his expression. And lastly at 8 p.m. there was another, a certain girl with the promising name Selvaggia, that means wild. And this is why he doesn't have time for the hearings. And not only him, put yourself in Tanzi's shoes, or Cragnotis, or Colaninos, or Geronzis, all of them defendants of bankrupt. They surely can't waste their time with the court, because they have to do managers. And in fact, the other night, a compassionate hand plugged inside the Alitalia Act, these bankrupters rescue your norm. And obviously Gabanelli arrived and destroyed it all, because they had to retire it. Naturally, Berlusconi didn't know anything of it, because he was on the box dancing while someone was plugging in the amendment, so he's surely innocent as he always is. And he stands for the legality. Today he announced will extirp the corruption in the public administration. I know very well the problem of corruption in Milan. To build it was necessary to go with the check in your mouth. This is what he said, so he's a real connoisseur of the problem. And also, the other day at the G4 of Paris have amazed all the other premiers because he stood up saying, "We need to bring back ethic in the finance." They all feared he wasn't feeling good, but then they understood he was serious. He had tweeted by his daughter that meanwhile was organizing a meeting on ethics in enterprise at the university. And to prove that his father wasn't involved, she brought with her Veronica, her mother. At the presidential table, there were 2 exceptional spokesmen. One, the son of Ligresti, he must have had a flash of inspiration on ethics while his father was in jail for kickbacks. The other was a professor of corporate finance with a desk, sponsored by hear this, Lehman Brothers. It just fits properly to talk about ethics and finance in these days of crisis. But everything has been alright. In the end, Barbara stated, "I'm against false accounting." She's just like her father, he's against false accounting too. Indeed, he abolished it a long time ago, as always according to the ethics.